Yeah.
Wow. And they just be asking for you like, oh, I came that lot to say, because you know the big famous TikTok gal, D'Amelio, yeah.
Yeah, she follows the Kool-Aid bitch. Yeah, and all of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you know.
Wow, dog. But that's large though. It's because like, okay, that's my thing now when it comes to us and what we do as Bahamians, because it's like, but if you think about it, you here right now in the Bahamas doing this thing, and you had people like Fergie them coming to the Bahamas to see you, wait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, yeah, you know, actually, we ain't even had no crazy intro like I normally do. That's a cool intro right there. So, I mean, y'all know what it is. Actually, let me put my phone on. Wait, don't ask me no how to come, bro. So, put my phone on silent. So we hear another place, another time, another legendary guest. We got the usual suspects in the back in the building. We have, introduce yourself, sir.
It's me. It's PG13, aka PG, aka P Giovanni, aka your favorite non-bay, aka hidden in plain sight, aka too many AKAs on the mic.
Not bad.
And then
Not bad.
we have a return of the world's greatest entertainer. He needs no other introduction. You all in the front of the camera, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, get ready. Cross your arms, your legs, your fingers, and your butt cheeks. Who it is? Bang, bang, do today. Kool-Aid, hashtag banana fantastic.
Wow.
Say cross your butt cheeks.
And then, you know, the usual host, the TV and the GOAT, the niggas of Nassau, St. Antoine, Alexander, Lord Jalen Willett. Welcome you to another Erryting Kool.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do. We don't want to scare anybody.
The tourists come over to chill on the beach, but they don't come over the hill where we sleep. We got nightmares and they got fantasies. No sanity, it's just insanity. My mommy hoping nothing happens to me.
And then on the right of me, across the Erryting Kool, across the two mushrooms and the Erryting Kool bottle.
You see,
This
is all the bottle though.
No, this is light up. Oh,
You lie.
this is light up.
You
Shout out to
lie.
Recycled Glass.
Yeah,
The Erryting Kool boy. Right across from that, we have the young legend, the young king.
respect.
He's a Bahamian. And what his first name is, even though I found out that was in your whole first name. But introduce yourself, sir.
Trae, Bahamian Trae.
The legendary Bahamian Trae.
Respect.
Grayson, Erryting Kool, the young phenom. Actually, wait, let me tell you what surprised me the other day or last year. Like, you only like 22, right?
21.
Wow. And I didn't know about him from like 6-7 years.
That's crazy.
I was like, wait, I feel like you older than that. But let's get into it. So, well, before we start Bahamian Trae, we have a segment on the show called the Bahamian word, phrase, or saying of the day.
Yeah, I know about that.
Loyal follower.
I didn't tell you, bro. Like, trust me, this is like a real, very fun experience for me right now.
Okay. Okay. Well, since you didn't know how I go ahead.
What, the Bahamian word?
Yeah, give us your Bahamian word, phrase, or saying.
My Bahamian for the day? Just for the day?
Well, today, this week, this month, 2021, 2022, 2020. Whatever your fixation is.
Tingum.
Did we have Tingum yet?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I can't remember. Okay, so the Bahamian word of the day is Tingum. Tingum in the bush ain't got no name. Actually, that's one of Kool-Aid favorite phrases too. But tell us what that means. Tell the international audience what that means. What is Tingum?
Tingum, I guess, for what a lot of people would, I guess you could compare it to the saying whatchamacallit. However you use that in a context is how you could use Tingum. Tingum is like it's nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative.
Right, nothing specified.
But for real though, it's like a word that it's like I guess that word that you just plug in. Like
it's a filler word, right?
Yeah, like hold on, what Tingum.
Tingum, right.
This gal or this thing.
It's ting.
What does that Tingum over there?
Any random thing, right?
Yeah,
Any random thing.
it's just that fill.
Right.
That fell. All right. So let's just cut to the chase. So tell us, I feel like I have a theory. I feel like you get Bahamian Trae from Trinidad Jams.
That's crazy. That's a very interesting theory. That's a very interesting theory.
But tell us the history behind like you coming up with the name Bahamian Trae and how you started in music.
Bahamian Trae, a lot of people don't know. At least I wouldn't want to say that you're not a loyal fan if you don't know this, but I can definitely say, oh, you've been following for a while if you remember this. But the Bahamian Trae name started when I used to do Vines. Everybody remember the app Vine.
Yeah, that's why I say Trinidad James, because Trinidad James basically bust on the scene around the time Vine.
Yeah, that was like 2014. Yeah.
No, actually 2012, 2013.
That's when he was?
Yeah, because I remember when I went to school in Atlanta, that's when All Gold Everything that just like blew up.
Yeah, but it was like around, let's say like 2013, 2014 for real when I started to do like the Vine thing. But here, my whole reason for using the name Bahamian Trae was because like I deleted a lot of the Vines. I now look back and wish I didn't, but a lot of the things that I used to do on Vine used to be Bahamian oriented videos type vibes. So I did this one video one time ago, like where I was impersonating, the lady that does the sign language on ZNS.
Yeah.
Like I was doing a video like type vibe on that, and there would be other different things, or like it would be between, little international kind of type, jokes, while also implementing like a Bahamian vibe in the jokes. And it just became a thing. Like the name Bahamian Trae became a thing on Vine, and then I started to do music, but my Facebook name still was Trae Davis. Like I still had my name as Trae Davis or whatever. And after I started to do music, I just said, you know what, Bahamian Trae is a really great name. I should use that. I should just have that as my artist name. But the whole music thing started when it's like I did poetry first in school. That's where that interest came from in school, like writing, doing poetry, little, get off things like that. But it was the rap I don't know if you ever been through school and rap battle or saw dudes battle rapping or whatever.
I did that more in college. Like me and my roommates used to be like session on the creek, and we used to have a TV just like this and like just throw on beats and just sitting in the living room just rapping for hours.
Y'all ain't never do that in high school though?
I probably never did it, but yeah.
Bro, I mean,
I know PG, y'all used to try to rap in high school?
No, I never used to have no rap battles in high school. We had like a rap lyrics book, basically, where we used to write down rap lyrics, but we never used to battle each other.
That's crazy. Because in junior school, like that was a thing, but and I think maybe just because our school is really we respect music a lot. Like our school, we had choirs and did like the music programs. We didn't participate much in like national arts and
This was all at Charles W. Sanders?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, like Charles W. Sanders, a lot of people will tell you we know him for softball, and we always got choir. We always like around that, Baptist, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Music oriented type thing. So, but in class, rap battling was like a thing. Like dudes would, and it wouldn't even have to be nothing long, like, but this is really how dudes would settle their disputes. Like if they felt a certain kind of way, they would rap against each other. And it's so crazy though that very few of us used to try to rap against each other sounding like Americans. Like, if you started to say, oh, I can rap something against you, a dude would just immediately
take on this American accent.
But dudes used to just really get sloppy with you, bro. Like, oh, they talking, but there's something shit, whatever they saying, but in their dialect and they roasting you. And the class just used to go crazy. Even sometimes the teachers used to even go crazy, like just being like laughing. They didn't want to laugh, but they just used to be so engulfed in it that we just used to do this. And then the older kids, because at this time now, I talking about we in like grade 7, grade 8. The older kids started to get familiar with the ones who used to be doing it. And shout out to Rico. If you ever see this video, Rico, you would have been one that used to come around the school looking for us. Oh, babe, rap. This the little boy who was rap or rap something. And this was even before I created a song. This just was where we used to be getting off in school. And then the first song I ever wrote was Mugger Like Me. It was around December in 2014. So I would have been 14 around that time. And it was based on a true story. And I recorded the song in January, right before my birthday. So I would have still been 14 at the time when the song released.
January, that's it.
Yeah, Aquarius stuff.
Hey, Aquarius time, dude. That's what we talking
all day, by Waterbury stuff.
Hey.
No, but I just want to pause right there because I thought during this time where I was in my life, I was basically in Atlanta. This was like when Future was just blowing up. I was seeing like Rich Homie and Young Thug, all like I'd walk down the street or go
and you would see
them growing up, and so you hearing the music you hear and them come up with the first time it's the soundtrack of the city. So I'm hearing this and being around this and like being in classes with people who A&Rs at these labels and things like that. So like when they come across Mugger Like Me, I was like, wait, that's the next evolution because it's like y'all rapping, but y'all keeping the same Bahamian cadence and dialect. And I was like, this is a refreshing thing. But so Mugger Like Me, which is a classic Bahamian song. Would you consider that to being a classic Bahamian song?
I would give that to the people, and I honestly would say that I've seen a lot of people say that. So it's whatever the people say.
Because it's almost like Mugger Like Me is almost like a Sweet Emily song, or like for the newer generation, even like it was classic. Like I think Mugger Like Me was like the first version of Pardon I, which blew up like 2 years ago.
Motto.
Like, because it's like, it's a continuation of what you started, and then it's like, but it's Bahamian. They talking in Bahamian, yet over whatever beat, what we already know. But this harder than the actual original song. So,
but I ain't gonna lie. Like, I think about it and hear people talk about it at times, and I just want to cry, bro, because guess what? I didn't think when I was 14 years old that I'd be looking back years from now and people still approaching me as if this song is brand new and they just expressing to me how they feel and expressing to me the joy that they feel whenever this song come on, or being like, boy, dog, this is a classic. And it's like, boy, that's how you really feel, Jed? Like, motto, that just is be a really shocking and amazing thing to realize. Like, just straight up. So, yeah, Jed.
No, because it's like, okay, so because I can't even... I just probably just came across it randomly. Like, was like, you can't muggle like me. You can't even muggle on the... Like, I was like, all right. So I was like, this dread. And then I hear people like remix it.
Yeah.
Over time and put it on different beats and things like that. And
big shouts to the DJ Palmer. He did like a nice remix to that. Like crazy. And even that was playing on the radio.
Yeah, it's still playing because they'll just take your vocals and put it on whatever beat.
Yeah.
And like, you all grown people who like...
Bro, I've seen grandmothers dance to that, like old to babies who barely talking properly singing that song. Like I've heard even stories like just young children seeing videos, like it just be amazing, bro. But what's so crazy? A lot of people might think that Mugger Like Me was the first existence of Bahamian rap in the dialect, in its full dialect form or whatever. But even before Papa Smurf, there was a vibe like that. And big shouts out to the group. A lot of people might not know the history, but it's this group that was called Mabaydem. It stemmed from the original name, which was RPS. I think it stood for Red Poet Society. And these dudes, same thing that you just explained, bro. Pure dialect, nothing shaved down, and they had this hit, bro, that shook the entire country that they call overseas, bro. And when I tell you, I can let you hear it after we then finish this or whatever, because it on YouTube.
I remember
but
the
this
name.
is from the 90s, boy.
Okay.
This is from the 90s. And like anybody who would tell you who came from that era who was like, you know, into the scene in that era, they'd tell you, bro, that shook the country. And there are so many things that, you know, Mumbai them did or whatever like that. But the group at some point dismantled, but it started there with the whole rapping and dialect thing. But they kicked it off, and then Papa Smurf carried it forward. A lot of others, you know, carried it forward as well. But, you know, they're them two, Mumbai them, and then Papa Smurf were ones who really, you know, was serious about that. And then shouts out to a dude named D Angel. He was also another one who was really like about the dialect, like straight up how I talking now is how I talking with an instrumental behind me. Like, and yeah, but it started there, and
I feel like y'all had like a somewhat small movement, because like around after you was like Father Fred and like many others.
You know what's crazy? It wasn't even like after, you know, it was like all around the same time.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you know,
it was basically all around the same time, because I'll be honest, a lot of people don't like to give people their flowers, but big shouts out to Father Fertile. A lot of people remember the song, I don't like mine. No, I don't like mine. Like, no jokes, right? This dude was like, I mean, I would say, but he would be like, I guess you can say almost like the soldier boy type of way with the industry, because in like, while we was young in junior school, just coming out of primary school, this dude was recording these like super low quality videos, getting off in his front room, recording music in his dialect. And we as young people now eating this up and going to school singing this song and becoming fans of this dude.
Let me
and
get a little squeeze.
you know what I mean? Like, Father Fertile was one who can also be, you know, you have to definitely say that Father Fertile was one that also carried that forward. And, you know, Spicy and Fred and Murray.
I love Spicy.
Spicy, Fred, and Murray, all them was doing their thing around that same time too. I would have been one that might have, you could say, like came after them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was all like you say, like an evolution around the same time that we were all almost like moving on this one accord that, all right, we just doing this thing.
So how you felt like being like a local teenage superstar?
Here's how it was. A lot of people don't know, right? But before I became, I guess you could say, known, I didn't have that much friends. So it's like after becoming known, it was like a shock, babe. Like I'll always use this story, right? I remember this one time I went to a QC dance, and this was the first time I realized, like, yeah, babe, like it ain't the same no more. I roll up on this guy, right? And I was like, oh, what you saying, man? I was like, what you saying, man? Da, 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 da. Like trying to mock or whatever.
Right.
And I was like, oh, well, my name is Trae. Da, 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 da. She was like, I know. I was like, I was like, like for a quick second, I was like, how you know where? Like I was so confused. I was like, how you know where it is? But then I stopped and I was like, but you doing like you online, bro. Like you put yourself out there, and then it started to become this thing where, but I remember I used to wake up with my phone with thousands of messages, used to be in a bunch of group chats, feeling like I had so much friends. And it was like all of it just was like, whoa, you know what I mean? Going to pot and like, and mind you now, like I told y'all, Muggle is a true story. And it was at that party. I don't know if you remember this party that was at the bowling alley that the name Hollow Tween in about 2014.
Bro, I was in it, bro.
Kool-Aid remember.
I was in there.
Kool-Aid remember the one. So, that story happened at that same party, and it was around that era where I just started to get into I get into this little dance and this, that, and the next. And when my career started, of course, you know, performances started more, concerts and all these different things, traveling. It was like, it was such a great experience, bro, being able to say that, dog. I remember at the Island Luck Big Bang, thousands of people, bro. It was in the middle of that ground by where the National Stadium was, and we was on that stage, and we was, you know what I mean? Right. And I just like, I do that again so much times more, bro. Like, because it just was like a great experience. But as it related to being known, it was like I had to become more mature very quickly because wait, there was like, I could tell you right now, I could sit here and think about how much times I experienced this loyalty out of people where it just was like, wow, I never
wasn't
expected
truly your friend,
these
bro.
friends.
Yeah.
Exactly. I never
Yeah.
expected these friends to act like that with me. But it was something that I had to go through and realize at 15, 16, that, all right, but these friends who you around, yeah, you joking around, hanging with them now. But there's something that you're gonna learn about the same clique of friends who you with, or learn about these gals who throwing themselves at you, and like you can learn about. But for real,
I'm in big church in that.
dog, it was a crazy experience just being able to understand all of that and learning how to communicate. Because also too, this was the beginning of my dating stage too, but so I was asking myself like, but would it be so that I'd ever be able to come across a gal who can love a Trae and not Bahamian Trae? Because if you come into if you because if you being introduced, like if a gal roll up on me right now, unless she from another country and she's never heard or seen of anything that I do,
But the thing about it is,
that's the first
Bahamian-
impression.
I mean, if you buck any Bahamian, she don't have to listen. Say you live in the Bahamas, she could be in the U.S., Canada, or Europe. If you say I Bahamian and she's Bahamian, like you know.
But then it's like this, but
So within the diaspora,
yeah,
basically.
but it's like, okay, imagine if I was a part of a basketball league here in the Bahamas. It might not be famous around the world, but let's say I'm doing something and I'm a prominent person in society.
Yeah.
Even a random person outside of that diaspora, when they get to know that, oh, he's important, they're now going to treat you differently. So I started to still ask myself, like, wait, will I ever be treated for who I am and for who, like, will you ever genuinely just give me that love and appreciation? I started to think about these things when I was 15, 16, because I was realizing that a lot of these relationships that I was in was of no substance. Like, and you would wonder, and you would wonder why. Well, what the 16, 17-year-old boy doing looking for substance? But that's I go back now to say that, hey, but things was moving fast for me. I was, I mean, still am making my own money, but while in high school, making my own money, like becoming a prominent person in society, doing things for myself or whatever. So it's like, there was more that I wanted. There was more. My mind and my mindset or mentality was more than what was just, okay, we together.
Okay.
And there were certain guys who just
Right.
not to interject,
Along
but
the ride.
we got to get into them. Because what really sort of be like, wait, this way is the future. When I saw
Gone?
yeah, and I was
Wow.
like, I see him at Charles W. Sanders, and that's like, my boy picked this stereotypical light skinned mango head.
No, Jared.
No, for real, it was like, bro, you know, any Bahamian male, you grew up in the Bahamas, you know, it was always a fine light skinned mango head guy. He was triple for dog. So that like I was like, he have to not stare at my boy during a rap game. So I was like, but I know this girl head was big right up. Like, oh, he chose
Loving
me.
it.
But it's crazy because I mean, not to discredit in no kind of way to her or nothing like that, but it was Charlie Brown who did choose her for the video. Because I remember, like, they did just come on the campus and they was like, yeah, her. Like, I like, she was just around or whatever, and it was like, yeah, her or
okay.
whatever. Because I mean, she has, like, I don't know if y'all ever noticed, like, she has, I think her eyes has changed color. Like, everything
Where's
about
she even now?
she, I believe she lives on the island.
Okay.
But she's still doing her thing. Like, you
Okay.
know, of course,
Nice.
everybody just doing their thing, trying to survive and keep moving forward. But we still cool and everything. But yeah, but that video, I always just be like, yeah. But of course, you know, after that, everybody was like, oh, y'all two is going. Oh, y'all two in a relationship. But it didn't happen, Jack.
Yeah, but
Like,
the quick fun fact, right? I was actually like when I was working at a particular agency, we wanted to use that track for our advertising, and then we actually had a meeting with Charlie Brown about it, but the client didn't end up going through with it. So that's when, like, 2017, like, it came by because the art director was like, "Yo, I looking for a vibe like this." So he wanted Charlie to recreate like That vibe, like, yeah, I want Gone, but it's like that same vibe, that dun, 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 and then with the whistles and stuff like that.
Dun, dun, dun,
So,
dun.
and really, that's how Bahamian music is today. Like, we got away from trying to imitate like R&B or whatever. Then, like, we're like, we can make our sort of musical elements sort of pop. So it was like, you know, Gone is, I would always point to that as a good example of, yeah, this is comprised of feel Bahamian, but it still feel modern at the same time. Too.
Yeah, but
So-
Charlie Brown is the one who produced that, and
Yeah.
but he is so talented when it comes to production, bro. And
Yeah,
he
that's
put,
why I like-
he put his foot in that. Bro.
Yeah, I
That
like
Edmund-
Spicy song. What he had the gal with the green hair. I can't remember the name.
Susie.
Yeah, Susie bad, mate. Susie.
Yeah, Susie's so bad, man.
Wait, Susie bad, mate.
Yeah,
So like, you know, I was like, I love
Charlie was on that production too.
Yeah, I like his production. So like creating Gone and Bahamian Story. Like, so okay, now you have a couple of singles now. So and then I guess this around the same time you decide to Exile. So tell us about like the process of making those songs and then that process.
Okay, let's start first with the signing with Exile. That actually happened because remember I said I wrote Muggle in December, released it in January, and here's what happened. So after the song was released, it released on January 12, 2015. And at that time, I would have been 14. And as soon as I put that out on Facebook, like in the matter of days, in the matter of weeks, like everybody around the school did know it. Everybody around the other schools did know it. And fast forward 2 weeks later, it was our sports day. And one of my science teacher, big shouts out to Mr. Sterling, right? This dude wanted me to perform.
Wait. He short man wears glasses?
Is he bald head?
Yeah. Well, he should be bald head now.
Big. He's kind of big.
I know. I wonder
Sorry,
if that's
Mr.
the same.
Sterling.
Mr.
I don't mean it
Sterling
in no
that was
kind of
black.
way. Like, I-
yeah.
But
they're trying to figure out Mr. Sterling.
You trying to figure out if we
No,
talking about the same
I
Mr.
mean, go
Sterling?
ahead with your story.
Yeah, right.
But that might be the same Mr. Sterling if he's taught at Charles W. Sanders. But
Yeah.
he wanted me to perform the song at Sports Day, and shouts out to my boy Michael because I was like telling him, I was like, wait, dog, I don't think I can do it, dog. I won't go in the front of these teachers talking about big bone
take
and all this. Like I was afraid to do that, and
Hold on,
also,
Miller was still the principal at that time?
you know what, Mr. Miller, boy? What you look check him out? Oh, stop that. Shout out to Mr. Miller, boy. I think he had already left though. I believe maybe.
Because I was like,
I ain't sure.
Because Miller's bake pasta at my whole church.
Mine?
At the ends, and he'd have been like, hold on.
Yeah, but I don't think he was. I don't think. Now that you make me think about it, I don't
Yeah.
think. I think he did already leave. But
Okay.
yeah, I was like, but I don't want to do this, dog. And he was like, but just do it, dog. Don't worry, but just go do it. And that gave me the push, that gave me the motivation to do it. And I go on to the DJ. I remember him not having the bomb rhythm instrumental because none of this was planned. But here's what I knew though. If you listen to it, if you listen to the whole rhythm, there's a song on the rhythm called Murder She Wrote, and there's a song called Bam Bam.
Yeah.
The Murder She Wrote is I told you about this girl, her name is Maxine.
Yeah.
And then the Bam Bam is the song where he's saying and in the Bam Bam song, it has a loop in the beginning that goes for like must see like 8 bars. So I tell him, play, just loop this
Right.
and just play it. And he played the instrumental. I got the mic and then I started to perform.
Look at him, elements of early hip hop, mama.
That's
Seen-
So,
Y'all think y'all from the Bronx or something?
that's crazy. That's
y'all
crazy.
take the break and be like, yeah, let me just go over it.
That's
Like,
It
that's
was,
really what
it
gotta
was
do,
that
right,
type of
yeah.
vibe, and only because true, I show everybody in here experiment with virtual DJ before.
Yeah, but
That's the only reason why I was like, wait, do this, do that, because experiment. I did say, yeah, but try that. But yeah, after that, I performed the song, and one of the students was recording me while I did the song, and while I was performing, everybody was tripping out, singing along, da 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 da. But my former manager ended up seeing that video. Shouts out to Reality. He saw the video and he hit me up and he was like, yo, we doing this thing called Exile Media and we want you to be a part of it. And I want to have a meeting with you to talk to you about it. And we want to put you under this artist development contract. And I was like, contract? Like, I 14-year-old, I just like, wait, what? Like, sign? What? Like, motto. And we had the meeting, we talked, I got to speak with Charlie Brown, I got to speak to Reality, and we reasoned, I got to understand things better. And it's so crazy because around that time when I was considering signing, I didn't, there was a lot going on in my life at that time, but my aunt had just passed away. We had to just move out of our house, all sorts of different things. And I just was like, but I don't think I could do this or whatever like that. Because after the first meeting, we were supposed to meet up again. And every time that I was supposed to, something ended up calling it off. So I was like, mother sick, these dudes probably feel like I joking. My life care and all that. I just like, dog, I can't do it, dog. There's a lot going on right now. And they was like, bro, just trust me. Once you listen to us and once you, follow our guidance, we could do great things together or whatever. And I was like, you know what? Let's ride. So I got a lawyer to look at the contract, and he translated back to me. I started to understand the stuff about the contract, and I was like, okay, I cool with it. My parents, they was cool with it. So, signed. And then after that, I recorded Muggle over because Muggle's original recording was with a Samsung Y, bro. So you could practically call that a voice note, type Y. But after that, we re-record Muggle. And after that, that was the audio that went onto the radio. And since that came on the radio, everything changed. But Muggle came out on the radio, I think, July, June, that same year, that same summer. And later that year, I think, right after Muggle, we did Gone. And Gone was seen in like September, October, how we ended up doing it by the school. And then right after Gone was Don't Go by Gaza, the Guys Go by You, Bahamian Story. And how Gone came up, Charlie came with the whole idea. He already had the beat, he already had the concept. We just had to put it and mesh it all together to, the lyrics and everything like that. And we did the track, came out amazing. And then let me tell you how Bahamian Story came about. Me, Spicy Fred, at this point now, I was the first artist who got signed to Exile Media. And then after that, it was Fred and Spicy who got signed. And at this point now, we vibing together. We creating, and we was in the studio one night, and these dudes, because I was, and I don't mind saying this at all, but because I was the youngest, I used to get picked on a lot. They would, whenever it's a get off or whatever, they'd get off. Exactly, natural. They'd get off on me a lot or whatever. And I was the type of dude who would get mad easily. Like I never did like it because I was bullied growing up, so I don't like it. But they was getting off on me while we was in the studio, and I just was like, you know what? But forget y'all. It was like I go into my own little corner, and I just remember taking out my phone, listening to an instrumental, and I just wrote "Don't Go by God" like right there in the studio, and I was like, you know what? I got a song. Y'all want me playing around? I got this. I can write this, and I wrote it. I let Reality hear it, and he was like, "Wait, we gotta record this," and then. We all, worked on the song together. Because if you listen in the beginning, that's Fred saying, "But Trey was scared, oh man, you ain't tell one of them stories in a while." And then Spicy come, "Baby, you talk, Bay Trey." So we all worked on that song together. And then Charlie threw in some vocals in there too. And that was Don't Go by Gods, which was also a true story. But I get a little fabricated or whatever. But it was the whole going by, I did go by a gal house, did almost get catch, did at the dip out. So yeah, it was a whole story on that concept, which I'm sure a lot of people might have gone through, like, caring by a gal house. Right. I had to go jump ship or whatever. But yeah, that was a story. And that's when that came out.
All right. So let's take a quick commercial break.
Yeah. I didn't even know we was doing commercial break.
Yeah. We're trying to get some sponsors.
Lie.
We'll be right back with Erryting Kool.
Hi. This is your favorite zaddy, Lord Jalen Willard from Erryting Kool, and this episode is sponsored by nobody. If you would like to sponsor an episode of Erryting Kool, feel free to email us at theoriginalpeoplenetwork@gmail.com, or you can slide in our DMs on Instagram at The Original People Network, or on Facebook, The Original People Network. Now back to your scheduled programming.
And we're back.
And we're back. We always have interesting breaks. I always say that, and y'all never know what you know. So let's focus on like your music style, and I sort of compare it to, well, it's a debate going on now whether Jamaicans created hip hop or
Yeah, I saw
there's
that.
different things. And then also, is a new phenomenon where in Trinidad they adopted like dancehall elements
Yeah,
and
that's
things like that.
I
So
see.
I would say what you do and many other young Bahamian artists do is like variations of those things to where it's like y'all sort of toasting, rapping, but in Bahamian dialect over like
But
Bahamian
and
sounding beats.
that's the thing about it, Dread, because what we doing right now is it's going to have its concrete like name, and it's going to be established as something, that has something that we'll all be able to agree upon. But it's notice that you had a kind of a hard time trying to explain what it's like because it's so unique, bro. Like
It is.
you like if you think about let's think about Pod Night. Don't Pod Night. Like this dude have a flow and have a vibe on this.
Yeah.
Let me pass, let me through, let me slide. Like it ain't just rapping, it ain't toasting. It's more than that, baby, because we using our language, we using our dialect, and it don't even matter what kind of instrumental it is because toasting is toasting because it's on like a reggae kind
Yeah,
of beat.
ska.
You see,
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
see what
yeah,
I'm saying? Rapping is rapping because of the boom,
The break,
cock, and
yeah.
or the whatever kind of sound it has. Like, you know what I mean? But what we do in here is just something that's totally different. And I think that it's going to have its own established thing soon. I can't make it seem like it's not influenced from other things because, of course, we consume music too.
Yeah.
And like, it's just different, but I wouldn't consider it toasting. I wouldn't consider it rapping. It's just music. You know what I mean? It's music. That's all I could say about it right now.
PG had a question.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. From last segment, going back to the last segment, what made you choose the bomb rhythm?
I am like very, very heavily influenced by like old school reggae and dancehall. Like I just love it, but and I think that's from just having my older cousins or like just even like my older brother like just playing these music around me. Like I grew up in an era that I would say was so awesome. Like because y'all might laugh at this or whatever, but I was born in 2000, right? Now, as a young child growing up from, let's say, between the ages from, months old to like age 5, that was from 2000 to 2005. Bro, can you, if I was to sit here and tell you all the music that came out between that time, bro, like some of the greatest songs came out during that era. Sizzler, Sean Paul, Alicia Keys, all sorts of different.
I mean, that could be debated, bro.
That could be debated?
Yeah,
bro.
because you could say the 90s.
90s.
You got born after.
I will sit there.
What some people
go
would
to
quote
bat.
unquote is the golden era for hip hop and dancehall.
Yeah.
But that's
And
on
then
that's on the cusp of
But-
the greatness
yeah.
ending for
And-
real.
And then you
it's
could
still in there.
debate whether disco and all these things in 80s, 70s,
Because like you
60s,
say,
bro.
right after 2005
So-
is when it's starting to fall off on.
Yeah, because you got ringtone.
and
music.
Yeah, but bro,
But he's still in there, right?
Yeah.
He still is in there.
but from you could have a whole rhythm on the billboard. I feel like that's crazy.
So
I don't
that's
know.
true.
I don't know if you ever had a whole rhythm on a billboard. Like, bro, to remember, get busy, no letting go.
Yeah,
All
Nina
them was
Sky,
on the billboard.
Yeah.
And besides the fact that they was on the billboard, born as a sufferer, grew up as
Yeah.
a sufferer. These
Bounty.
was ghetto hits, bro. These wasn't no jokey songs on the road. And then
Yeah.
don't forget all the type of culture rhythms that came out during this
Yeah, a
time.
lot of
But I'm just
culture,
saying
yeah.
all of that to say that, bro, this was the maybe if you jump inside the car as a young child, this is the song that you might hear. Like these
Yeah.
are the kind of music that you was growing up hearing. So either it was the songs of that time or the ones that were before, which would have been maybe the Joyride rhythm or the Bam Bam rhythm
And all
or
that.
the Stress rhythm. Like, these the kind of things that I was hearing a lot. And then the area where I grew up in too, I used to live on Springfield Road. My neighbors, like, bro, they used to have parties so much. So it's like even with songs that I didn't know, like I end up having to learn these songs just off of being in that area.
Yeah,
So
hearing it.
I think, but like just that vibe of old school reggae just captivated me. And at first, what beat I wanted to do Muggle on when I was actually during the writing process. I wanted it to be on the Ice and Ice. The She remember my teeth like a chicken gravy. I was actually looking for that instrumental, but that instrumental, I believe, still ain't on YouTube. So when I didn't find that, I just was looking and looking and looking, and then I find the
some things just don't be on YouTube for real. It's be weird, but it's be craving some rhythms. Be like, bro, why this ain't that? I feel it.
Like, for example, for a very long time that since she jump on me dog and she jump up back, that wasn't on YouTube for a very long time. And as soon as it did, that's when you hear more acid, less acid. So I was like, what a sec, nigga. As soon as this instrumental drop, he take that. But but as soon as I find that bam bam rhythm, it just that was like the perfect, just the perfect vibe.
And that's interesting that you said the whole Zestin thing, because he basically Trinidad. It's Trinidad
Killer, I think.
Trinidad Killer. Because Ghost made Gunman and Shield.
He was.
No, I think Trinidad Ghost made Gunman and Shield.
Yeah, Trinidad.
Yeah, so it's Killer. Like, he basically did the same thing that you did.
In what aspect?
Like he took the rhythm, and put a new song in.
Yeah,
that's solid.
But I ain't gonna lie, I want you to see. I even felt like, bro, I used to be having these like conspiracy theories in my head, and I used to be like, boy, I wonder if this song went further than I think it did, boy, because even around the time when Muggle came out, I think that same year Rihanna did a performance at the BET Awards, and she did use the Bam Bam rhythm. I was like, boy, you know, Muggle.
Listen to me. Hold on. No.
I was like, I just was freaking out. That was just me feeling myself.
Listen, no. I think that's you feeling. You know what's so weird about that, right? I remember when, like a couple years back, I just started to do. I was doing like a solo podcast, right? Mm-hmm. So I started making these solo podcasts, and I used to call myself Hidden in Plain Sight. That was one of the AKAs I called out earlier in the show. Yeah. And I call myself Hidden in Plain Sight, right? I tell you no lies. All of my favorite YouTube videos that I was watching, all my favorite YouTubers, they would have had the phrase Hidden in Plain Sight in their upcoming episodes. And I was like, there's no way that my name reaching me. I understand where you're coming from. Because I like, there's no way, right? But at the same time, I was like, but why why now this coming up? Mm-hmm. So I totally get where you're coming from. I have a second question though, if I could.
No, go ahead.
Right. Second question, right? So I know you're saying everything was like moving fast during the time when you first made, the song was on the Bahamian Room and all that stuff, right? You felt any pressure to follow up after you made your first hit and then, you did Gone and all that stuff? You felt any pressure where you had to make the video and then you had to go and make another song or anything like that? Or you just like chilling like, yeah, but I could follow this up like this kind?
That's a good question because I could say for sure, thinking about it right now, I realized that there was no pressure from the label. I didn't get no pressure from them to say, oh, now you got to make another one. Like, it wasn't like that kind of thing. And personally, I feel like, no, there wasn't no pressure, not on no cockiness and not on no ego type vibe, but because we were young and we was having fun. So it's like, because there were no pressure, if it ain't no pressure coming from the label, ain't no pressure necessarily coming from the fans because it's something that's fairly new. It just was like, okay, let's see what these dudes have next. So it was like, but we just used to be going to the studio, getting ready to create. And like you heard a story of how Bahamian Story came through. I wouldn't say that it was an accident, but it just came. Like it just happened. It just happened. So when it got released, it was like, I didn't think to myself, all right, but this a hit. This a classic. People gonna love this. I just was like, all right, this is a song. This is another one. Boom, we did this. And I didn't feel no kind of pressure from the label. I didn't feel no kind of pressure from the people because Muggle came out in July. Bahamian Story came out like a couple months after that. And Gone wasn't too far away from Muggle like me. So these was all in the sequence of, let's say, maybe 6 months. These 3 songs came out. So it wasn't even like no pressure. Like that.
And you won't put no pressure on yourself. You just was chilling and just like, yeah, man.
But I was 15.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, what is the worry of a 15-year-old really and truly?
Real.
Like, what they stressing about?
Real.
Not
unless, I mean, not to empathize with those who out there that might be going through something right now or whatever. But usually the average 15-year-old, the only thing they either worrying about is going to school, or if they didn't have to take on the pressure of their parents, they just chilling.
Yeah,
man.
they are. I got you.
They just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, around the time when did your collaborations came with KB and the late and great legendary Ronnie Butler? Well, KB is a legend too.
Yeah.
But both
Late
of those
great.
legends, the late great Ronnie Butler and the late, not late. Look at me mixing up my words.
Yeah.
The great KB and the late and great Ronnie Butler. That's it. But when there's those collaborations coming, how did you feel? Like, was these came out like 2 years after this whole buzz, or
Yes, 2 years, because Teeth was in 2017, I believe. And if Day to Day wasn't before 2017, I think it was right on 2017. But boy, I remember, because at first they didn't tell us who the feature was gonna be with Teeth. They just said that we was gonna be working with a Bahamian legend. And I just was like, wait.
So this was for something specifically, or
like the idea? Okay, Charlie had this idea of a song, like a Bahamian song talking about a thief, and he had the beat, he created the beat, and he told us to write the verses based on that concept, and he told us that we were going to there was someone big, a Bahamian legend, was going to be on the chorus. So I just was going throughout the whole thought process, like, who this might be, like, because of course we have so many legends in the game. And when I found out that it was gonna be Ronnie Butler, I remember, shouts out to my boy Isaiah Pettikin. I remember going to him at school, and I was like, boy, dog, we about to do a song with Ronnie Butler, dog, like that. Like, and guess what? At that point, I didn't know a big amount of his discography, but when I found out that I was going to be working with him, it was like a muddo. And I started to make myself a student of the game. But after that, I said, you know what? It's my duty to know what's in this dude's entire discography, because this is the people is called this dude. And I would say that he is the godfather of Bahamian music, bro. Like, this dude. Yeah. This dude did so many great things in our industry, and he's carried so many things forward. So, like, I say to myself, like, Ronnie Butler, wow, like, that was a great experience for me. And then after the song came out, it was like every and any person that could have come to me to shake my hand or just tell me how great that was, they expressed it to me, and they was like, "Boy, that was amazing." And I owe it all to Charlie Brown and Reality for making that whole feature possible. We didn't get to work in studio together on the song, but we got the opportunity to perform the song one time before he passed away. And yeah, but that just was a whole honor and great experience. Same thing with KB. When I found out KB was gonna be on the wire, I was like, "Wait, what?" I just felt so blessed, because not many people had the opportunity to work with any of them too. Facts. KB or Ronnie Butler. So I say to myself, like, wow, just off of them considering working with us, because I'm not the only one who on Teeth, and I'm the only one who on Day to Day. Just for them to work with us as young dudes made me felt like, yes, but we included, and it showed me that we were also respected, dog.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's big.
So now for the drum, you could turn that speaker on right there. Turn it on. So we're gonna test your little theory about how well you know Ronnie Butler.
All right, no problem.
Oh man,
let's see.
Oh man,
let's see.
I had to look at
you. Let's see.
All right, so
this might end up
we gonna play a song, and then we want you to react to it. So have you ever heard?
This might end up anticlimactic.
Have you ever heard Ronnie Butler's song "Water the Garden"?
Water the Garden?
Yeah.
No.
All right.
I actually never heard it.
Okay, so we about to play it right quick.
You ever heard Water the Garden before?
No.
All right.
I think I gotta. Maybe if I hear it.
Hold on.
But let me see.
Yeah. Hold on. Are you trying to connect? Okay. Dun. So on Erryting Kool, we always, we gotta, like Kool-Aid said, we tropsy. Well, I tropsy at least.
Yeah.
Now you connect. You don't gotta pull it that close to the thing, bro. All right. So in 3, 2, 1.
Big ad in the paper. Lucy wanted a gardener. Big ad in the paper. Miss Lucy wanted a gardener. So I sent her my application. You should see this lovely woman, and you know she wasn't making joke. 'cause as I entered her yard, she put me to work. She said, Ronnie, water me garden. Oh, she said, water me garden.
Fair use.
You should have seen how I pause when I reel out me hose to water she garden. Well, it was down in Jamaica. That's where I went as a gardener. Believe me, I was working so hard. I wanted to come back to Nassau so bad. But Miss Lucy, she turned around and told me, she said, Ronnie, I like my garden well watery, so I wet it good. And how you don't know, for in a couple of months, she plants start to grow. Because I water she garden.
Fair use.
Yes, I water she garden.
It's the goat dog.
You should have seen how I pose, man. I reel out me hose and I well, I decided to go, but Miss Lucy grabbed me and she told me no.
Fair use.
I decided to stop when I saw her husband. He came rushing up, but the woman turned around and she told me, say she husband ain't gonna get vexed with me for that. And you know it's like what she said was true, because her husband want me water his garden too.
Fair use. Fair use.
DJ D-Rack.
Say DJ T-Rack. I was waiting.
You know, there's a
Whoa.
oh, there's a next verse. Oh, look.
It's another verse.
We done get
No, listen to y'all ain't had a fourth verse.
Fair use.
Now believe me, my hose is ankle long. As I walk in, it's dragging up on the ground. My friends, this is no small hose, and I am known for raising a Bahamian pose.
Fair use.
Now Miss Lucy Garden and her husband's too will prove that these words I say is true. But you could ask Brenda and a horse named Emily, and if you want your garden watered, call Flash and me, and we will
Fair
water the garden. Oh, we will water the garden.
Hold on. He mentioned a horse in there and Flash somebody else.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think the terminology. I think we don't know the
God.
terminology. You have to be, babe. I say I think we just don't know what the terminology means, babe. That gotta be meaning. He gotta be meaning something else.
I glad I didn't know that song though. 'Cause
Your reaction.
I am so shocked.
Your
bro.
reaction is gold.
Wait.
My boy, he was like, wait, that's the goat.
Right.
That third verse, come on.
I mean, Ronnie still
Wait,
is
hold
the
on.
goat. Ronnie still is the goat, though.
Nobody
most
said there's the goat, bro, but I was like, wait,
Yeah, that one
he was
gets me
ahead
off
of his
guard.
time.
Oh yeah. Weird.
Oh,
Weird.
Yeah, that catch me off guard.
man.
Water the garden.
What did it got? So tell us about so you eventually, after collaborating with these two legends, you left Exile and became an independent in 2019. So because I was like, but by that time I already returned home and I started seeing, Carrington working more Action Man and Spicy those, and I was like, okay, I see Exile in their bio, but I ain't really seeing yours as like, okay, I think he ain't seeing with them no more. So tell us the process, like after spending like 5 years with Exile could be considered an indie label. No?
Define indie.
Well, they don't have a major distributor or isn't like co-owned by a major label or
Yeah, indie.
yeah.
Okay.
So what made you say, okay, now it's time to go spread my wings on my own and become a fully independent artist?
I'll be real as possible. Right? Okay. This is how the whole thing happened. It wasn't like no bad vibes or no kind of thing, you know. But a lot of people didn't get this story, and I hope that we all, I guess, get a chance to tell our individual parts of the story because, you know, there's always different sides. But from what I know, this is how it started. A lot of people don't know, okay, Charlie Brown and Reality are the CEO and COO of Exile Media Group, at least were. And it was them two who started this thing. Now, Reality is what would be considered also our road manager. Reality used to go with us to all the shows. He would make sure, like, you know, he would be going with us on the island in Nassau. He would make sure we get to the studio sessions. You know, he would be with us in these studio sessions. And Charlie doesn't live in the Bahamas. So Charlie used to be...
he lives in Texas, right?
Yeah, well...
I believe it's Texas.
Yeah, I think he's between Texas and Miami. I'm not sure where he is right now, but Texas for sure. Texas. And yeah, there was at a point in time in the label, I believe, I'm not sure if it was 2018 or 2017, but Reality left the label, right? And it was just Charlie, Spicy, me, Maestro, and Shad Fur. A lot of people didn't know that other artists were also signed on Exile Media, but Maestro is also another artist who's signed, and I'm not sure if you heard, but Shad Fur. But Shad Fur is amazing.
Yeah, I met him on a couple of occasions.
Yes,
we even collabed on, well, not really me personally, but I worked on a documentary which he was the narrator.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
Who are we?
I saw that. Yes, and
I know him very well.
Amazing and very talented, creative. I gone to say artist, but there's so many things that this dude can do.
Yeah.
But he was also, and I believe he still works along with Charlie. Not sure exactly how that goes right now, but here's how it going from then. After Reality had left the label, it was me, Spicy Fred, Maestro, Shad Fur. And how it started to happen, to be honest, I guess I'll just say lightly that Fred ended up getting dropped off the label and Spicy ended up getting dropped off the label. And it was just me, I guess if you would consider the clique, me, Spicy, and Fred, it was just me out of the three that was left. And out of the whole entirety of Exile Media, it was just me, Maestro, and Shad Fur that was left. But yeah, it was just me on the label. And at the time after Spicy and Fred had been dropped off the label, I did Money Pull Up. I did a song with Najee Dunn called Praise Him. And I also did Too Young with Wendy and Ian Davis. And during this time, I was still in school and I kind of had an expectation on where I wanted to be after I came out of school. And it's not like I was like rushing the process or anything, but I wasn't seeing what I
had envisioned
for, you know, not just me, but for all of us. I noticed that things started to take a different turn and we started to kind of end up on different mindsets because, again, I'll be real. This is 100% real. And, you know, Charlie would show you that, hey, you know, if he used to see this video or whatever, he'd say, hey, he's not lying. But I had told him, hey, it's like, I don't mind college, but I don't want to go to college because I feel like we have done so many great things in the music. And I feel like we have so much potential to do greater things in the music that I want to just be focused on music after I come out of school.
So you didn't think... I mean, I can let you finish and get into that point because, well, let me talk
No,
about
you
this
can go
right
ahead.
now. And I always say, because I always hear a lot of Bahamian artists say, "Oh, let me come out of college and focus on the music." But I think what has hampered a lot of Bahamian artists over the last decade is you only could get so high in the Bahamas. You got to take it on the road and meet people and create connections overseas. So college is a great way, which is like, well, it's the legal great way to get your foot in the US or Canada or any other place to where you can stay 4 to 5 years and work the scene to where, okay, when it's time to either come back or OPT up or you didn't get a work permit, you always could keep on going back because you already, all your friends still live in the city. So it's like, stay there for 2 months, work on music. I don't know all these producers, blah, 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 and come back, go back and forth because there ain't really nothing to sell on the jet.
Mind you, that is really cool, but that's not what I wanted to do. But like, I didn't want you to sleep. Like, in the end, it was like, I thought to myself, okay, if I wanted to go to college, I would have studied journalism, media, and communications, and that's something that I'm still kind of interested in. I would like to study that, but I tell you, at this time now, keep in mind this was when UB was not free, and keep in mind who was gonna pay for that school fee for me to go off to the States, who I was gonna stay by, where was I gonna have this funding coming from? Mind you, he had this idea to say, you know what, you should go to college, but I never got any concrete like response from him to say, oh, are you going to pay for me to go to college? Not to say like, oh, well, if you ain't paying for me to go to college, then don't send me to college. But honestly, at that point now, at 18, I was thinking about, okay, how can I not have enough, like, because I'm not rich yet, bro. So my parents at this point in time were responsible for whatever is Trae and everything having to do with me. And I almost didn't graduate because my school fee wasn't paid, bro. So how I could have gone to college thinking my parents was going to pay for my college tuition. And I'm not saying that I'm stupid, but I wasn't the brightest tree on the apple on the tree. So I didn't have I wasn't eligible for no scholarship to just get sent off to go to college. So that was not the idea for Trae. It might have been cool for somebody else, but it was not the idea for Trae. And how I'm looking at it, yes, it would be cool to go off to college to go to, let's say, North Carolina, wherever to do schooling. But let's be real, you know, that's not the only formula of how to make it. There are people who did it different. You know what I mean? And for me, what my plan was, I was like, you know what? I don't have nothing against college, but I don't have nothing against college, but I want to work on music and see how far we could take this. Because I know that you, like, and this was the conversation I was having with Charlie, like, you know, I know that we all are talented and I know you have so much knowledge and I know that we should be able to make this happen. And this was what my mindset was on, what I wanted to see for when we came out of school, when I came out of school. And when I came out of school, it just felt like he started to get into different ventures. And this is nothing wrong, but I just was like, okay, I noticed where he started to get more into film versus going into music. So at some point, I just was like, you know, in a very respectful way, I gave him a call and I told him, you know, like I was just considering wanting to do it independent, you know, and honestly and truly, I still have so much respect for Charlie because the only reason why I felt like I could do it independent was because of the knowledge that him in reality had given us going throughout this whole artist development contract. So it just was like a thing where I think it was just time for me to move on, and not in like a bad blood kind of way, like, oh, it had to do something with money or it had something to do with this or had something to do with that. It just was like, okay, I see that you're going in this direction and I want to go in this direction. So maybe let me go in this direction and you go in that direction. And this is what I had come to grips with. I rather go this way and see it not work than go this way and be like, mother sick, what would have happened if I had gone this way? You know what I mean? So I didn't want to be in a feeling where I say, like
you
regretting.
feel like you bet on yourself.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't feel like one man is, like, I know I can't do this alone because one man in the island, and I still, like, I had a bad taste in my mouth about working with teams or getting signed again, but I still, want to look forward to working together with a team to make stuff happen or whatever like that. But as it related to Exile, I just was like, it's not the same, because also remember I mentioned with Reality leaving the label. To be honest, it wasn't the same with Reality not being there. Like, I'll just be straight up. Like, the whole vibe just wasn't the same. Because like I said, he was our road manager. He always was on the ground with us. He used to make sure we were straight. Like, that all kind of changed. Not saying Charlie didn't ever make sure we were straight, but if Jay live in Miami and I live in Nassau, there's only so much Jay could do.
Yeah.
There's only so much Jay could do.
Yep.
Jay can't be here all the time because you got to pay for your flights. You can't be in Nassau every week. And even when you do it so much now, you're looking at it as an expense and not as, okay, this is something that I can just do. That ain't something that you can just do, because you get taking money out of your pocket to do all these things. And when it becomes an expense and not like an investment, then it's like, all right, like, I don't want to put you in no more expense. And I just want us to be cordial and, we could still work in the future. I still interested in working in the future, but it's like, as it related to Exile, I just was like, okay.
You'll exile yourself.
You exile.
Yeah, Exile.
So how is it being? Because that was 2019. This was early 2019?
Yeah, early 2019.
So you
April.
at least had a year and some change before the pandemic to
Yeah.
sort of feel that process out.
And bro, I mean, being an independent artist, it made me learn so much, because guess what? I didn't get to connect with much artists as I would have liked to while I was under the label. And I don't want to make it seem like it was like an intentional thing to, I guess, close us off from other artists, but it wasn't I don't know why it wasn't ever a thing for us to connect with the other artists like that in the industry that much. I mean, like I said, I worked with Wendy, worked with Najee Dunn, but those links came through Charlie. You know what I mean? I didn't go to an event and see them and then it was like, hey, let's work.
Together,
you know what I mean?
Right.
It was great. It was a great feeling after I became independent and I went to this event and I saw Sketch. I was like, yo, like, what's going on, dog? Like, boy, it's so nice to meet you. Like, dog, like, you know what I mean? Like, actually feeling like I was in the industry after that and actually getting honestly, it was also a feeling like, okay, I could kind of do what I want now. And not saying that I wanted to just be rebellious, but I was like, okay, I have this idea. Let me try. Let me at least try, because there's one thing that I did, like, as soon as I became independent, I did dye my hair. And that was because I just was like, I want to dye my hair. I did it. Nobody could have told me I couldn't dye my hair. Right. After a while, after I grow my hair a little bit, like after it was dyed, I was like, you know what? I want to lock my hair. So after that, I just did it. Like I just decided.
Supposed to come in now.
After I decided to lock my hair, I say, but I just did it. And you know what I mean? Nice. Nobody could have told me not to. Right. So it was just this feeling of liberation after I got independent, and not as if I was being caged in, but it was also just this feeling of, okay, I'm going through this learning process, and whatever it should be, will be. Right. You know what I mean? If we were meant to come back together, then we will come back together. If we are meant to continue to go on our separate paths, we'll go on our separate paths. But I'd also say that, hey, I don't regret making the decision, because again, there are so much things that I've learned, so much more people that I've met during this time, and I could say the same even when I was with Exile Media. There's so many things that I've learned. There's so many people that I've met. There's so much fun that I had. So I don't have nothing against the connection or the whole journey that I went through with Exile Media. It's just, it just
expired,
happened.
Right?
Yeah,
it just expired. Like it wasn't no
I feel you.
Bad vibe or nothing like that. It just happened.
And then now you a whole radio station host and actor, because I seen you in Jaquays last Dundas Theater performance.
Yeah, that was Misery Loves Company. That was a solid, another solid experience, being able to actually say, yeah, Dred, like I acted in this stage play, auditioned for it, got the part, and went through the whole process of practicing and doing all of these stuff. And after, the thing about that whole radio show, how that ended up happening was I went there and I went there for an artist interview. Right. And then I just asked, shouts out to Captain Comfort, I just asked him a question. I was like, "But y'all looking for any radio personalities?" Because of reality, being around, him as a radio personality, I watched him do it so much that there was times that I told myself, like, yeah, but this is something that I don't mind doing. And he used to just show us things just off the fly, like, hey, this is how to do this is how to do that. So I just used to be like, wow, I like this vibe, I like this kind of thing. So around that time, I asked him, like, hey, y'all looking for any radio personalities? And at that time, they wasn't. But he told me to talk to Big L, see what's up. So Big L was like, yeah, we're not looking for any radio personalities, but if you want to, you can intern here, I can train you, teach you some stuff or whatever like that. And that's what happened in January of 2020. Yeah, that was in January 2020. I started to train there and go there every day for like a couple months. And it so happened that one of the radio personalities left that radio station and they needed someone to fill the hour. So I was there and I filled the spot.
Nice.
Yeah. So what's next for Bahamian Trae?
What's next for Bahamian Trae is international stardom. Like, trust me, we're gonna look back at this years from now or months from now and be like, yeah, but like watching this dude go through the process or watching him go through the journey, because what my whole thing is, but I want to inspire people. I want to continue to grow in this music thing, because I think you said something earlier where you said there's only so far that you can make it in the Bahamas when it comes to music, right? But I don't have that kind of feeling when it comes to music, because big shouts out to Kool-Aid, who here right now, who's not on the camera right now. Like, if I was to sit here and tell you, like, "Boy, dog, I can work this job and I can have so much celebrities coming to meet me or whatever like that," you would tell me, "No, but you can't do that in the Bahamas." But there's someone right here, right now that's doing that.
What I meant
you see
by,
what I'm
by
saying?
that more so...
Listen, but guess what? Yeah. There are so many people in the industry right here in the Bahamas who have Grammy nominations, who worked with so many great artists around the world. The only problem with how we view the music industry is that we are not informed. There are Ronnie Butler was honored by the Queen. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Peanuts Taylor was honored by the Queen. Bob Marley's favorite song growing up was "Don't Touch Me Tomato." That was a Gombe artist by the name of George Simonet in the 1950s, dog. Oh. You see what I'm saying? If we had this knowledge about our music industry, how you could, not saying, not in no disrespectful way, but how can you tell me now that, because after all this I hear about my ancestors, how you could tell me now that I can't be successful doing the same thing right here? And guess what? George Simonet at that point in time in the 1950s, think about the temperature or the environment of what the Bahamas was like in the 1950s, a few years right after the Burma Road riot. Black people like me and you barely getting education. But these dudes was making music, bro. You see what I'm saying? These dudes was making a living. These dudes was traveling the world. These dudes was making waves. Joseph Spence is studied in colleges, boy.
Nice. Yeah,
Joseph Spence, boy. Not
somewhere.
You know what I mean?
I did a poll part on.
And this dude from Andres, this dude ain't even from Nassau. So you might have say, "Oh, well, only because you're from Nassau." No, bro, this dude from Andres.
Right.
A remote, they would call Andres a remote island. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, bro, all I want to do is inspire and continue to grow and allow for other young people. Because another thing I just talked on Twitter about it today, where I say, I had a conversation with some people before, and they were saying how they don't use dialect in their music because they will market themselves to America. That's crazy. I said, bro, if a dude could go on a mic and say Opa Gangnam Style and go platinum, I could say Well Mother Sick and go platinum.
Exactly.
I could say Erryting Kool and go platinum. You see what I'm saying? Because, bro, think about it. Music is a universal language, bro. What the whole...
I want to touch on that. I apologize. I want to touch on that because I felt the same way.
Yeah.
We was playing Hang the Man. This is a quick story. And I was to work. The school-age, sorry about that, guys. And they told me that this guy, he put a word on the board. All us was trying our best. We see line trainers and, Shout out to Adrian and a few others. You understand? So he's playing this game called Hang the Man. Everyone played Hang the Man before.
Yeah.
You understand? I end up killing the man because I couldn't figure out the word. So he's saying too much vowels. Come to find out the word was superfragilocatalytic
Right.
And I was like, bro, that ain't a word. And there's like, that's a word. Mary Poppins. I was like, okay. So then I came up with a word. Just to know what the word is. Everybody know what the word is now. I came up with hashtag banana fan fantastic. They said it isn't a word. Well, today. So I believe in what you say, bro.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah,
And
bro.
then to your point, I wasn't saying you can't make it from the Bahamas, you know. I'm saying
There's only so much you can
you
do.
could do, but you have to branch out. Even if you stay here, because a prime example I always bring out is what Christian Adams G did. Being Bahamian, talking about Bahamianness, but it having an international appeal.
Yeah.
That's what we do here at Erryting Kool. Yeah, they're saying how it's supposed to spell, but we can make it pop regardless. But it can be something that you can relate to, grandiose, but we can still make it Bahamian. And then put Trae after that.
Right, I got you. But it's just that there's so like I'm not saying that, hey, don't ever leave the country. Don't ever
I think you need to just
travel.
travel and come back.
I'm saying that, boy, if you don't have a ticket to go to Atlanta right now, if you don't have a ticket to move to New York right now, nothing is stopping you from starting something here right now. Nothing is stopping you from being successful here right now. Because let's look at Sabas, bro. Let's look at all the like so many great, successful Bahamian people from right here in this country. Like a lot of them, of course, they would have maybe gone to college or gone off and do certain things. But at the end of the day, they still here. It's a lot of people that start like the idea or the whole concept started right here. Great example, Miles Monroe. Where his church is, right there on Carmichael Road. But you know that dude traveled the world.
He has an office in
as a
South Africa.
as a motivational speaker, bro. You know what I mean? And he didn't say, all right, in order for me to be international, I gotta put my office in South Africa first.
Yeah.
In order for me to be successful. No, bro, that boy started right there on Carmichael Road. I mean, I'm not sure if that's where the church first started off, but that was where. But
yeah, but that's his
still
base.
home.
That's
his
what
base.
we know
The base
as
is home.
you see what I'm saying? And I remember watching one of his sermons the other day, and this dude was talking about how the NFL was calling him to speak to the players, to speak to them and motivate them or whatever. And I'm like, boy, wow. Bro, the president of the United States at the time told that dude to rest in peace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's huge. A Bahamian boy who grew up through one of these same corners where we might be scared to walk through or whatever. I think he say, one ghetto, he grew up in the ghetto, bro.
Right.
You see what they saying? And it started right here. It started right here. It was cultivated right here. So all I want to do to inspire others is like, do the pod night. Do the I'm a Bahamian. Do these things because, bro, it could happen. Especially with the fact that you have that cell phone right in your pocket, bro.
Yeah.
You could post a video right now, get 1 million views, and now use like I say, Kool-Aid inside you right now. And this dude lives right here in the Bahamas, and he has people from all around the world running to come and see him. He wants people want to talk to him. This dude is a bit, but I don't think you understand. Like people like him is who I would brag about whenever I have conversations about what we can accomplish here in the Bahamas, because I feel like because we're misinformed or uninformed, that we kind of undermine ourselves and what we could accomplish. Because guess what? We try to look at America so much and forget that, hey, there's an entire Caribbean, there's an entire Asian continent, and then you have Europe, dog. There's bro, the world is broad. The world is broad.
Africa.
And again, you could post a video right now from that cell phone and have thousands of people following you. And get like, bro, do you realize how many YouTubers are now in the Bahamas that have plaques? Like that have
we're gonna have one on soon.
That I'm talking about have over
Actually,
400,000 subscribers.
I know.
There's this dude right now, bro, named Smooth AJ. This dude is pour water in a bowl, boy, and has millions of views.
Wow.
This boy from Abaco.
Oh,
Not Nassau, not Freeport. This dude from Abaco, boy. You see what they saying? Nah, someone in Abaco feel like right now they can't be successful because they don't live in town. Or they feel like they can't be successful because they don't live in the States. you don't.
It ain't about
it
right.
ain't about
Ain't
where
about
you
that.
is, bro.
Right.
Because guess what? There's someone in Miami right now who's struggling, who have to go through all type of different
course.
adversities, because that's what the journey itself is all about, bro. If you here in the Bahamas right now and you lackadaisical, you're gonna be lackadaisical in France, bro. Your attitude won't
You better
necessarily
preach, bro.
change.
You better
see what they
This
saying?
man come with the Gandalf wisdom.
Yeah.
The
But
real
the
mate
dog-
said.
No, but you're right though.
He is very
Because
right.
it's the same word ethic you
Super
have
right.
here. If
I
you
hope
can't make
y'all-
it
I
happen
hope
here,
y'all
you can make
listening
it
to
happen
If
this.
you
there.
going over there thinking, all right, let me befriend somebody so they could give me one little job in Cali or whatever, like, bro, it don't work like that. You have to
Nope.
work. You have to put in the time.
Still-
You have to put in the
right.
effort. And I feel like once you follow that formula, no matter where you from, you will be successful.
Yeah, you can run
And
from
we
that.
can't keep blaming the population, like saying,
Nah.
oh, well, we only got 400,000 people, so we
Nah.
can't do that. Bro, St. Lucia only have like 200,000 people. And don't forget now, we are an archipelago. St.
Mm-hmm.
Lucia now only
It's
has
one
like
island.
200,000 people. And don't you know music from artists in St. Lucia? Don't
Yeah.
you know Split in the
Yeah,
Middle?
Split in the
Make
Middle.
me build
Yeah,
up. You
I
know
know.
that song, right?
Yeah, and I know it from St. Lucia too.
Right.
Yeah, so I know, but I know everything you saying, but I ain't know.
So
though.
it's
Yeah,
like-
you know,
What is our excuse? We can't keep on making excuses.
Hey.
All we need to do is put in the work. And here's what I sat down and realized, right? You see, you just play a Ronnie Butler song. And mind you, even though I said like I gone into his discography, you played a song that I didn't know. That's because that dude has so much songs.
Yeah.
Every artist that I noticed from here in the country who has a huge discography, to me, they are successful. KB, he has a huge discography. That dude has traveled the world.
Yeah.
Ronnie Butler, Phil Stubbs, Gino D, KB, all these dudes put in time, work, and effort, and boy, they have countless of awards, bro. They have accomplished so many different things. So, bro, it's a formula, and all you have to do is follow that formula. I started to dig deep and try to figure out how to be successful. I've been listening to like different motivational speakers, trying to understand this thing, and I realized that, bro, it's a formula. And once any of us follow that formula, you can be successful, bro, no matter where you from. So
Indeed.
no matter like it ain't about, or you live in the Bahamas, politicians corrupt, all of this. Don't as you think in your heart, bro. That's how you is. If you feel like you oppressed, you can always be oppressed. If you feel like you can't make it, you can never make it, bro. If that's how you feel,
Right.
or if that's what you think, if that's what you believe, then that's all you can get. But you have to think that, bro, there's more to it than what you could ever imagine, man.
Hand out viewers, it's the mindset.
it's the mindset.
Hey.
It's your mind, dog. Because
You right.
no, but it's
mind.
your mind, bro. It's your mind.
This man
And
come
I
there
think
with
we
a word
gonna
today.
end
Right, come there with
right
the
there.
word today.
All right, Bahamian Trae, thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much. I think
Thanks
this
a lot
going to
for
go
the opportunity,
viral,
bro.
We need mamas
Sprinkle
cooking.
viral stuff.
We need
Yeah.
mamas cooking on
Nigga.
this.
Yes, babe. Most definitely. Can't wait.
Thanks
For this
again
to
for
drop.
Bahamian Trae for coming through. And
Bro,
there's
thank
another
you.
episode of Erryting Kool. Peace and love. All his links in the bio below.
Thank y'all for inviting me, but like I said, I'm a fan of the show, so I've been watching
Oh,
y'all
but
on
we
Instagram.
got a legend who's a fan,
Yeah, bro.
We doing
Like
something.
I mean, like from y'all had like couple like when y'all first started, I was one of the first set who follow y'all, and I watched as y'all was growing. I watched from when y'all was just in here, and then I
Right.
saw when y'all did one when y'all was at another spot, and I saw y'all did an interview with Travolta Cooper.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but and I was like, oh, like, you know what I mean? I saw y'all doing all type of different things, and then I see y'all did Curbside Rockers. I was like, yeah, but these
Hey.
dudes like really getting consistent with it, and they keep
Right.
it going. So, bro, y'all keep on doing what y'all doing too, bro. Like,
Thanks. Sir.
this is
Nice.
this
The mutual respect and
forums
mutual
like this
respect.
is what we need, because we need to have these conversations so that not only the younger generation, but the generation who now just learning how to use WhatsApp and Facebook, so that they could be informed that people like me and you ain't lost, because they do really feel like our generation is lost, but so that they can have these kind of vibes to just look and see like, oh, okay, this is what's going on.
Right.
At least like, yeah, but this is what's needed for the culture.
Great.
Amen, amen.
Yeah, but
We ain't got nothing more to say. You didn't say everything. We can see y'all later. Yeah, you see.